back. It's another Friday. It is Friday the 12th of June. We're more than halfway through. We're almost halfway through the halfway through point. So welcome. Today is a great, boy, man, what a week again. Busy week. I know Art is going to have a ton of stuff about what's new in the industry, if anything. Kevin, what's up with you? And I think we've got someone else in here too. What's new with you guys?
Kevin. Well, SpaceX went public today, so
That's right.
it was priced at 135, then went to 150, then up to about 180, and then it settled, I think, about 170-ish.
So we wait till Wednesday when the profit takers all bail out, and then we go ahead and grab it for long term?
Yeah, there's 4,000 more millionaires and one trillionaire now. Yeah. I don't know if there's a lockup period or whatever, but I think on paper there's at least 4,000 new millionaires because of that.
Yeah, that's interesting, right? So, well, I don't. Okay, well, that's cool. Now, what's the next on SpaceX? They're going to buy Tesla? Is that what the rumor is? Because ultimately everything's going to get consolidated. Elon's idea. You guys, I don't know. I haven't been down on it.
Well, Neuralink and SpaceX and Tesla, I mean, they're all somewhat related, right?
Well, yeah, they were all. I mean, that's Musk's driving thing
Yeah.
to go to Mars. He needed the autonomous things because his robots are going to build houses. He needed the data collection, capable collect all the social data influence with X crap and Neuralink, so he can control his robots from Earth. And then, of course, the his little satellite network?
Oh, the Starlink.
Yeah, Starlink.
Starlink, yeah. Hey, he said he had like 100,000 satellites now or something.
Yeah. He put more mass up in space than anyone ever, any country, anything ever. So.
And they're not even flying in Leo.
No, I thought they were. They're not.
No, they're high Earth.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's news. What else? Art, anything on the copier world?
Yeah, just a little bit.
What do you got?
So, everybody familiar with Ford Office Technologies?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, they just recently made a purchase of HA Technology Group. John, have you heard of them? HA Technology?
HA Technology?
AJTG. AG Technology Group.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
JTG.
So they offer cybersecurity, VoIP, cloud solutions, and e-commerce procurement capabilities.
Oh, okay.
So who bought them?
Ford Office
Ford-
Technologies.
Yes.
They are located in southwestern Pennsylvania, and they cover pretty much West Virginia, northern West Virginia, north through Pittsburgh. They have an office in Erie, I believe, and I think they're in Ohio too. Yeah, big dealer. They sell quite a few product lines, and their main office is in just a little old strip mall in southwestern Pennsylvania.
Okay. Thank you for that. I did not know them.
No problem. No problem. I worked with them for quite a long time. That's where I'm originally from, the area. So I worked with a lot of their reps before. So good company.
So
What was the motivation?
Well, they've been in IT for a very long time. And they've been in, they were one of the first dealers that I knew of that had their own, it was under the same roof, physical roof, but it was a separate part of the building, their own scan bureau, high security, a digitization facility. And they work with a lot of companies in that part of Pennsylvania. And they did a really nice job. They're still doing it. So they've been in that technology space for a long time. They do trainings there. They work with a lot of the state and local governments there. And it's interesting. The addition of this technology group doesn't surprise me because, why not? Doesn't everyone need a technology group?
Well, when you say cybersecurity, you're talking about a different type of, not what most people are looking at. Most people are chasing, something other than that. And I was just curious. It just jumped out at me as being, that's not something that a lot of people are, I don't want to say skilled in, but I would say it's kind of ahead of the curve.
It takes a lot to be proficient at that and to be to meet all the the criteria that are necessary. If you say you're somebody's IT provider or their cybersecurity provider and something goes wrong, you got to have the credentials, the training, the certifications to back that up. So yeah.
Well, good on them. I'm glad to see that the industry is at least pivoting, or at least
I agree.
Making differences for people that aren't making differences.
Sure.
Well, isn't it just an MSP that they
I don't know, and I don't really know anything about AJ Technologies. I'm not sure where they were or where they are. Let me see here. About Us. Yeah, so they're I looked up AJ Technologies, and most of the stuff comes up with the Ford information. So
That says here they're going to retain AJT's tech staff and support personnel.
Okay.
Helping ensure continuity for existing clients.
Nice.
Clients will continue to work with familiar service professionals while gaining access to Ford's larger infrastructure, technical resources, and expanded solution portfolio. So it's going to work both ways. Ford is going to have access to their IT and cybersecurity clients to sell print and their other services, and vice versa. They're going to be able to offer the services from AJT to their clients.
Nice. I would think that's a synergistic partnership.
Absolutely. And I think that's about it for AJT. Kevin Frey will be happy with the next one.
Oh, okay.
Xerox rolls out rebrand. Xerox has unveiled a refreshed global brand identity under Louis Pasteur as the company continues its transformation from traditional print manufacturer into a broader workplace technology and IT services provider. Rebrand introduces a modern Xerox logo and a stronger emphasis on digital services, IT solutions, workflow automation, AI-powered offerings, and workspace technology.
So basically, they're going to leverage their commercial base because they have a large one, and they're going to move it into more services.
Well, that's all the copy manufacturers are trying to do.
And I'm sorry, did you say his name was Louis Pasteur?
Yeah.
Is that for real?
Yeah, that's his name.
Real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Pasteur, like a pastor, right?
Oh, okay.
Pasteur, yeah, could have pronounced it wrong.
Gotcha. I was just.
But I added some French to it.
Why not?
Oui.
Oui.
So it goes on to say, simply now the logo change. Xerox is signaling its future for future growth strategy beyond the printed page. Dealers should expect increased focus on managed IT services, cybersecurity, AI-powered workflow solutions, digital transformation, and recurring revenue offer. The move mirrors what many independent dealers are already experiencing. Print volumes continue to decline while opportunities, IT, software, robotics, automation, and managed services continues to expand.
Interesting.
Any comments from the gallery on this one?
I have what the new logo looks like.
What does it look like?
Here, let me share.
Hold on.
I figure if I push the button faster.
You're good to go.
Is it working?
No.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Isn't it? It brings tears to my eyes.
It's kind of an original.
Kinda. Not really.
So
Remember when they made the ball? The Xerox, the X ball? It was a ball with an X on it? That was,
yeah.
That was the globe.
I'm sorry, the globe.
Now it looks like a Chrysler Pentastar.
It does, doesn't it?
It does. It does.
They did something with the X's, right? That's a goofy looking X.
Yeah.
So
There's something symbolic in that symbol, though.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure there's some devil.
I think that's going to be the entire launch meeting is going to be that Pentastar thing right there.
Yeah.
So are we still hedging our bets on that they're going to move into digital infrastructure and less into hardware?
Oh, no, that's what they're going to do. That's what they say they're going to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's what it says.
Like IBM. They got believers, too, each week. So what's their stock at? Does anyone have it up?
I thought they were over $6 a share.
No, they're
Shut the front door.
They're like $3, 3.5.
Oh, really?
Let's see.
Hey, Greg, can you stop sharing so I can?
347.
347.
Yeah.
There you go.
Thanks, buddy.
But it was as low as 120 in April.
And it's 327?
Yeah, 347, 347. Yeah, it's at a 6 month high. It's at a year high, year to date high.
So Xerox is back in the news. They saved $10.2 million through Cortex AI-driven SOC automation.
Really?
Anybody familiar with SOC automation?
Someone here is.
Security Operations
Yep.
Center.
Mm-hmm.
SOC. Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, what they're going to do is they're going to move services out because the companies can't make those bunkers, can't do that certification, that fortification. There's no way. I mean, they're clearly moving this in a completely different direction than hardware. That's just my opinion, but oh, I know.
So it says here the initiative leveraged artificial intelligence, automate security monitoring, threat detection, incident investigation, and response workflows that traditionally require this involvement. So
Did
AI
they buy?
is going to take over.
Hear. Did they
No, they
buy someone?
saved 10.2 million by what it looks like. Reportedly, they used the deployment of Cortex AI-driven SOC automation into their
It's Cortex
organization.
I can do it. You want to do it? Let me do it. Okay. Okay, Kevin, I got a question for you. With as fast as quantum computing is coming, and it is coming, what's going to happen with all of these data centers when have you seen how little voltage and how little power that quantum takes compared to what we're dealing with right now in these data centers? These things are going to be literally bunkers in a year.
Like empty bunkers.
Empty, yeah, totally. I mean, you're going to be able to ride your bikes in there and do kind of cool things because all the stuff that's going to be in there is going to be a museum, isn't it?
Isn't it weird?
So I'm not sure. I don't know enough to really comment on that, Kev, but I have been reading headlines that the data centers that they're building currently are planned. They're already obsolete. And maybe that's the reason behind it, right?
Oh, so I should send you a link. They were showing this. It's literally like 1/1000th of the energy
Wow.
because of the physics involved in it. There's no heat in it at all. There's zero.
That's it.
It's in a vacuum. It's in a vacuum.
Wow.
So the amount of power it takes is like literally immeasurable compared to what they're doing right now. So if I'm thinking to myself, okay, if you're investing all this money in these data centers and you're bringing in water and you're stealing
Yeah.
power from the residents, but right around the corner, literally 6 months ago, I remember there being a little speck of information on the news about somebody had broke through a little bit with quantum. Now they're measuring it. That's in 6 months.
Yeah, it's coming.
Yeah, and they gave AI a data center a computation to solve the problem, and it was going to take it over 1 million years for AI to do it. Okay, and quantum did it in under 2 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not Moore's law like we were talking about a couple weeks
No,
ago.
in fact, it was funny in the article. They said so much for Moore's law.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also
Hey.
read a headline that we've used like 2.5 billion gallons of water for cooling data centers. Like that's not sustainable either, right? So
No,
yeah, just
I got to be gone for 1 second. I'll be right back.
Then Elon actually announced his satellite data center. Did you hear about that?
yes.
It's been there. It's up there.
It's up there.
It's up
Wait
there.
a minute.
there is data. Yeah,
He
there's
already
data centers-
launched it?
There's data centers
It's
in
got-
space. Yeah.
It's a little data center. It's a 7-meter long solar cells are out there. Well, anyway, that's what I heard. But it's a small thing. It's not like what real data center. I think it's a proof of concept kind of. But anyway, and then the quantum thing is crazy. And because of what's happening with the DCs and all the anti-DC movement. But then if you just look at it, it's like, that's kind of big. Everything in AI and tech is shrinking. Everything. I mean, just look what NVIDIA did over the last just 2 years. Remember his the thing he delivered to OpenAI was a box.
Yeah.
And then 2 years ago it was like a rack.
Yeah.
Rack.
Now they're coming out with laptops with GPUs, and they are a data center in essence.
Data centers. Yep, they're AI. They're
Yeah.
sparkles. I call them sparkles.
And the boards are still kind of big. I mean, big for what we're used to, but they're slim enough to go in a laptop, right?
Right, but they've got everything on it.
Yeah.
Right? It's the GPU and the CPU and all is out there.
Yeah.
And because the GPU is so close, it actually comes down to the physical location of the chip next to the chip. and the closer you can get it, the less heat, the less power, and all that.
Yeah, yeah.
So pretty. I mean, that I think I don't know if we talked about it last week, but that is big because all the PCs will have to be updated to these AI PCs.
Yep.
And I think how people have HP came out with one that said it was AI ready, and Dell, they were lying. I mean, it's not really. It's just more old DOS processing stuff. But these, when you integrate with the GPUs and all that, that's a whole nother story. Very, very interesting.
Yeah, and it's also like, remember when 32-bit and 64-bit came? That was like progressive. Yes, but you had to have software applications that took advantage of 64-bit versus 32-bit because you could have double the bandwidth basic. But same thing with AI applications, right? You'll need to applicate like 4K TV, right? It doesn't matter if you have a 4K TV if you don't have a cable box that's going to have the transmission, right? So it's going to take a coordination, but I'm sure there will be plenty of software applications that are graphics intensive and games and stuff. Yeah.
It might be at the bus level, that because if AI can be its own operating system, that's one layer. So then you're just AI to hardware. And if it's a true 32-bit, you know what I mean? It won't make a difference because the whole 32, 64, 8-bit thing was when you write your program, right?
Yes.
That command loads into memory and so even though we had what was a 32-bit chip, the bus in was only 8.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, that's great. It can process 32, but we're still shoving 8 in at a time instead of 32 at a time. Even know why I know that.
That's pretty good, yeah. But your system is only as good as its weakest link. So you got a bus and you got the memory and the CPU and memory and the GPU, right? So
how long was Windows was 8-bit?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
3.2 or maybe even later. I don't know. NT maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know, but we're talking.
But to answer Kevin, I just want to answer that and put a pin in it and we'll move on. But he's talked about the speed at which quantum is coming. And that's a perfect example, right? It's going to be here before. I mean, people were saying 2035, 2040. Then Google said 2029. It shocked the whole industry. And now we're having breakthroughs on a daily basis, right? So,
and with quantum computing, there's more to it, right? I mean, we're seeing the end result as a compute, but there's the entanglement issue, which blow everyone's, right? I mean, that's totally something out there that people theoretically and all that stuff, but the ability to entangle, what are they, protons or whatever it is when they separate it, and you do one here on Earth and it impacts the one up in space. There's some wild shit going on with that, because the way I look at quantum is almost like analog. Do you guys know? I don't know. Do you know what I'm talking about? Okay. I'm not sure.
Yes, exactly.
Right?
It can be. It's not tied to the ones and zeros. It's not tied to binary.
Right.
It's everything all at once. But I would like to read the article that Kevin mentioned about this problem. As far as I knew, these problems that the quantum systems are solving now are very specific to quantum systems.
Yeah.
They are extremely limited in their applicability to other things.
Yeah.
You gotta take out with a grain of salt. It solves a problem that only a quantum computer can solve because it was made to run only on quantum computers.
Except that it broke Moore's law in physics.
Moore's law is just the number of transistors on a chip, but this is beyond transistors, so it's these quantum, particle things, these quantum qubits, as they're called.
Qubits. Right.
But I mean, I haven't seen anything about if quantum computing is real. I mean, why isn't it broken cryptography? You would think
it's going to.
It's
going to, yeah.
Yeah, it will eventually.
How long was AI around before anybody knew about it?
Well,
For years and years.
That's true. I would just like to see the real world applications before we.
Okay.
They've been selling quantum computers. Didn't Boeing buy a quantum computer? I don't recall seeing this jet was designed by quantum computers. This was 10 years ago.
Okay, go into YouTube just real quick and type in Julia McCoy. I don't want to bring it up on here for trademark or anything. I don't know.
At YouTube specifically?
Well, she's a scientist, but she discusses the capabilities of it.
Okay.
Well, it's like
Julia. What's her last name?
McCoy, McCoy.
if you
Cool.
think back to Babbage and everything, those, and even the machine that broke the Germans' code in World War II, those
And
were
they-
mechanical machines designed to do one thing, and then everything sprung from that. So, if you look at quantum, I get it. Yeah, it's designed. We need a machine that will solve the Rubik's cube in 0.75 seconds. Okay, so that's what we're going to design. Then whatever spins out of that now, and then 10 years later, we've got Google Tetris Online.
There was
Yeah.
Anyway,
there was a real good use case. I just want to share this for the group. Like, what's the real use case for quantum? So, I was working at Fujitsu on, I'll never forget, December 10th, 2011, when the big earthquake and tsunami came through with Fukushima.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the tsunami came in and whatnot. So, when that happened, Fujitsu was they're very environmentally conscious and concerned about those kind of things. So they used their super quantum computer at that time to simulate earthquakes and tsunamis. And modeling that stuff would have taken like years, right? But they used a supercomputer. It still took days, but days of quantum computing to simulate different scenarios. And then they could plan accordingly to help when earthquakes and tsunamis happen. So it was a really good, great use case of a use for this kind of supercomputer. And you couldn't do that with regular, even AI computers and supercomputers. You need like super horsepower to do those kind of things.
So did you find that link?
Is it the quantum just killed AI data centers?
That's one. Yeah, she's got a bunch of articles, but here's another one for you.
Uh-huh.
So this lady actually is a chip designer. The next one I'm going to give you. Okay.
Okay.
And her name is Anastasi, Nanastasi,
Uh-huh.
in tech.
NTEC?
No, just N, then a space, TECH. And they're talking about it, and I mean, she's talking about it from a data center standpoint of
Oh, okay.
she designs chips. She designed some of the top chips in the world for Intel and all these other companies.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Very, very smart gal about knowing what these chips are. And she breaks it down to why this is moving so fast. Because what they're discovering is all of the things that they already know about this applied science doesn't apply to quantum. So it's literally how fast they're figuring this stuff out now is.
Oh, wow. So they're throwing AI at solving the problems too.
AI's been doing it all. They're pointing AI right at it and saying, okay, we're going to go ahead and put it in your replacement, because some people even believe that quantum might be the only buffer we have against AI.
Quantum AI.
Well, that'd be. I remember my two brother-in-laws ganged up on me. That sucked. So let's don't do that. I'm just kidding.
I have a couple other points of news.
Do tell.
ConnectWise launches AI native platform for MSPs.
Who did?
What?
ConnectWise introduced an AI native platform designed to transform how MSPs operate, automate workflows, and deliver services. Platform embeds artificial intelligence across core MSP functions, helping techs reduce manual work, improve response times, and increase operation efficiency. AI capabilities are designed to assist with ticket management, service delivery, documentation, workflow, automation, and decision-making across the MSP organization. And it goes on, but those are the main points.
So they're selling more features?
Of course.
I mean, what do you think the bottleneck net? What is the bottleneck nowadays? What, we look at workflows. What are workflows? AI doesn't workflow. It begins and ends in the same place with AI, right? I mean, I'm interested because as I'm working with these manufacturers, I'm telling them, get rid of all of these features on these machines. They're literally listening, saying, nope, this is not what the industry needs anymore. I mean, when you look at what what Epson's doing in this next wave is going to just shock the industry. It's going to be like they're not all sitting around in a room anymore talking about what the next great thing is that they all launch together. They're not doing that at all. I mean, I'm all about the idea of saying, okay, the old days of when you use the words productivity, they just don't resonate anymore. Okay? Because at what point does technology just become expected? You have technology in your AI PowerPoint. You have technology in everything you do, right? How much of whatever you do in a day that you pen, Arthur, or art, or that anybody else does, how much of it is even you? You know what I mean? We have so many leverages now that I don't know you can even use the word productivity anymore.
No, we've redefined productivity to mean just doing stuff.
We've obsoleted the word.
Yeah, and what's happened with AI is it takes the focus away from the process and has the potential to focus on the deliverables. It really
Right.
does. And our whole systems we're judged on how we adhere to the process. And salespeople know this. This is exactly up our alley. We get measured at how well we run our CRM, how many times we make entries in, how many cold calls we make, right? There's numbers and process, and numbers, you stick to the process, it's going to work. It's a numbers game, right? But no one really concentrates on, well, this guy sold 10 times more than anyone else, but he only made 50 calls. That's Art knows this. You can have someone who is banging quota, but didn't reach his freaking cold call quota. All right, so you're dinged 10% because you didn't see 15 people, but you made quota and excelled it. What AI does is it looks at these stupid, redundant processes and says, hey, this is stupid and redundant. We should get rid of it. And that means people, that means process, that means departments. So AI, you're right. There's no process in AI. AI just does it. And I think that's why we're seeing problems with enterprise adopting AI. Yeah, go on.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm sorry. Go ahead. You finish up with what you were saying, because I think you're on the right track.
Well, I think that the corporations of the world who really know, and I look at Price Waterhouse, they got in early. They understand that this thing that's coming out eliminates levels, not just silos, but levels. It flattens organizational structure. And it comes out in the corporations. But if you look at education, how the whole education system is designed to support the corporate structure, show up at 8:30, bell rings, move here, move there, learn this, keep learning, get a job, keep going up. The whole thing, work your way up the ladder. All that is narrative, and AI tears all that down. And it can say, you or me, we don't even need to go to school anymore.
And that brings that. So what you're talking about is called Taylorism.
Yep.
That was the whole notion of what it was written on.
I've written about it tons of times. AI is the antithesis to Taylorism, and then
100%. Now, what's fascinating though is Taylorism may not be the beginning of this story. It may simply be a chapter in a much longer effort. Because remember,
I agree.
Because there's two forks here. Are we actually talking about? Fair question. Are we talking about not replacing investment in people, or are we talking about it literally being able to become more of a micromanagement than it already was in a better? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that's part of the problem I see is if you let these quote 4 or 5 super AI companies, and I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm just trying to make an observation and connect. I haven't connected the dots. But right now, and that's why I don't like guidelines. I don't like guardrails. I don't like regulation, because someone is going to regulate all of us out of whatever it is we can do and grab everything for themselves, where AI really does come down to us, the individual. It can really be us up. So, yeah, the fork in the road is, does it set everyone free, or does it make us even more slaves?
Okay, well, so interesting that you say that, because this brings us back to Sun Tzu. So you want to go back in time a ways, a couple of years? Go back to Sun Tzu, because what did Sun Tzu focus on? Sun Tzu focused on alignment, discipline, communication, decentralized judgment. He understood that nobody could directly control every soldier, right? Completely the opposite of Taylorism. Agreed? Yep. What did the Roman legions do? Standardized training, procedures, so large forces could operate predictably, right? Fair? Yep. Taylorism transferred work knowledge from craftsmen into management systems. So modern corporations transferred increases amounts of organizational knowledge into procedures, and now it turned into software, and then it turned into governance structures, which is where we're at now, right? So now AI comes in. So AI may transfer portions of that knowledge work into digital systems, right? It may say, well, that's going to become AI. The question isn't whether AI changes work. Every major organizational model that we've just discussed has done that already. I don't know why people are even asking that question. It's like, which one hasn't, right? Every legacy technology that met its replacement has lost. Okay, it's owing everything on that one there, right? But if AI transfers portions of that knowledge into digital systems, the question isn't whether AI changes work. The more interesting question is what remains uniquely human after each transition. That's the problem. It's how much of this is going to become human. You're not even trusting videos anymore. Am I right?
There's no reason you can't. You cannot.
See, and the other thing that Taylorism was built around was, and exactly like you said about the school process. I just had a 50-year reunion, and I asked the teacher, I said, is today's method of teaching relevant today? And a lady laughed and said, no. I said, because here's why. We went to school to get knowledge, right? And you don't need a school for knowledge. Where's the school getting their knowledge? From the same places that the students are, right? In fact, they're putting safeguards and guardrails in place to protect themselves from the student being able to go get more knowledge than they've taught them.
One of my mantras is AI eliminates the middle people, the middle person. Who is between us and education? Who is between us and knowledge? The guys who said, this is what you should know. This is how you should know it. We passed this thing a long time ago. They weren't teaching us how to think. They what the totally different, right? So that's why people have problems with learning an LLM. They don't know how to ask questions. There's no critical logic. There's no Socrates, no Plato, no nothing with people. So when people sit in front of an LLM, they don't know what to do. Well, just ask it. They freeze up. It's just ask them. But what's beautiful about it is once somebody does, a click happens and they're off and running. It's like something goes off. Wow. And then they come to the conclusion, I never needed to go to frickin', introduction to feminine studies at Harvard or anything stupid like that. I should have done, more art appreciation, more music appreciation, more Shakespeare, more philosophy.
I agree.
That might be where we're at, right? I mean, you say it's going to take away all these abacus-driven processes, and now what? Sounds kind of like La La Land or Star Trekville, but that, what's left? Okay, now we can start thinking about stuff. Really? We can start, Kevin, you want to be an artist? This is very tactical and low, but if you want to go become a sculptor, okay, do that. You want to figure out how we can travel faster than the speed of light? All right, let's figure that out. Maybe that's where we go. But you're right about the fork in the road. It's either going to be that or it's going to be really bad.
Well,
and I'm going to get out one more thing just on my box. We are the luckiest people in human history. This is the thing. Like 800 years from now, this will be the point that they go, we shouldn't have done that.
We would have been a civilization much longer.
Yeah.
So you're saying so either AI is going to be used to increase human capability. That's one future, right?
Yeah.
Or is it going to be used to primarily measure, standardize, monitor, or whatever, extract more output from fewer people? Is that the other fork?
It's along those lines. I don't believe that will happen. I think what will happen is there could be some conflict, but the humanity of humans will prevail over that. It might not be pretty, but it won't be extinction. We won't become extinct. But I'm voting for the good stuff. I want the good stuff, right? I want the kids who are babies today that if they want to, they learn about Plato and Socrates and how to think in kindergarten and above, right? Read, write, arithmetic. They don't have to learn anything else because everything's going to be right. The complete history and knowledge base of the human experience is going to be right there for everyone. So where do you go from there? Wherever the hell you want. See, it's like, how does a human put their mind around it? Especially our generation? We are A plus B, that we are that part, right? There are very few people that can visualize. Generations coming up right now that are growing up with whatever AI is going to be.
I got a couple other pieces of news. Kevin, Neal, this one's for you. OPEX technology expands national reach through strategic partner with Intelisys. Is that it?
I know OPEX on the document scanning side, but I know they do a lot of stuff in work automation and warehousing, and so I don't know that company in that side of the business.
Says the initiative is designed to increase customer access to OPEX automation technologies, including warehouse automation, document and mail automation, and intelligent workflow solutions. Is there a place for them with robotics?
Oh, sure. Yeah, for sure. Because they already have these big machines for mailroom automation, like you just read. So they have, those are basically, those aren't moving robots, but they robotics arms and pickers and things that take stuff out of envelopes, take staples out. So they've been in the robotics business kind of sort of for a long time. Not the way we think of it, moving around robots and stuff, but fixed robots that process mail. Yeah, yeah. And the software that goes with it. So I could see it. I just don't know anything about, I can't comment on that.
they could be a good opportunity. Well, I know they're working with Twain right now,
Yep.
Twain Working Group, right?
Yep, they're a board member company. Yep, so they're important to us. Yep.
And they're familiar with are they involved in the Twain robotics?
They have shown interest. Yes.
Interesting.
Yep.
I have
Interesting.
an idea for robotics, and since I've been left to my own thoughts about it, I've come to the conclusion that it's a great idea. So save me from that one, okay?
Yeah, we suffer from.
Yeah. So why don't you guys have robots in all of these parking lots that are going up and down the rows, protecting things from break-ins and thefts and security?
It's interesting, Kevin, because we just had a talk track with a dealer a couple of days ago that is highly interested in offering security robots.
They have
They're out there now.
Yeah, when I was in Seattle a couple of years ago, I saw one going around the parking lot, and it's looks like a dome kind of robot. He's like almost tall. He's like 6 feet tall. He's got cameras and like a siren on him. And he's got, but he was patrolling the parking lot.
Because like all of these construction job sites now, for insurance reasons, are required to have 24/7 monitors up in the air, cameras watching everything. Okay. The problem is that the bad guys know the cameras are there, so they just put on a draw hoodie, and go right on and let the camera film them. But by the time anything getting done with it, because the cameras aren't interactive, they just record. So if that would have been a bot, then guess what would have happened? It could have known what to do and have escalated.
Yep.
That's the issue. The escalation is the issue.
Right.
I mean that, and there's a perception, a societal perception that a robot can do something like that to starts off being to criminals, or ends up being to anyone who doesn't wear a hoodie or something like that, or wears a red hat. That's the big. If you have a person who's going to do that, there's some sort of Tory thing, but your judgment is still between. If you have a robot, that's the cusp. Security is great, but then it can jump over into being bad real easy. So, in the perception, not that it would, but the perception is an issue. Of course, I think China does it, right? Don't they have gun-toting robots?
Heck, I would just use the tasers where they put how many thousand volts in them and make them do the fish dance for a second. I mean, I think most criminals don't expect that they're going to run into friction in the course of their legal infraction. Do you?
Yeah.
So
Nobody does.
I mean, the robot just quietly sneaks up and goes, "Well, what are you doing?" What?
Yeah, and that'll scare them off at least enough. Even if they don't touch them or don't arrest them or don't tase them, but just have some kind of camera system that is retroactive. Dispatch a robot that comes and at least scares them off, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, the cops
Or
have
calls
that,
the
right?
police.
Yeah.
What is it? I think it's Vegas police department is using the drones. So if a call comes in, the air goes out to where the call gets there before the police get there.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I just read an article. I think when the Grand Prix was in town out there, they deployed these, and now that I can get behind. It's like, okay,
New York City.
Was it New York?
Yeah, New York City's using them also. Yep.
Yeah. I think Vegas had it where the drone would get there before the unit got there, and it was observing, right? But golly, talk about knowing what you're getting into. I think that's extremely.
And think about it.
valuable for police.
There's probably a lot of false alarms, right? So at least you send a drone, it inspects it, and just come back and okay, there's nothing going on, right? But if there is, then escalate it, right? So.
But I think what we remember is that some of the most innovative people are criminals.
Yeah.
Once they know the drone is here, they'll figure out how it can't see this or something like that.
Well, that's what technology moves technology anyway.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Never-ending battle.
Yeah.
I've got
Otherwise, the Pentagon never would have got challenged, right? The NASA trip to where the cosmonauts used the pencil versus the pen that could write in space. I mean, that's just nothing but humans trying to one up something, right?
Space pen. I had a space pen kid, right upside down, right? Because in outer space, the Soviets just had a pencil.
I use space pens almost every day.
All right.
I've got one last share of news, and this is I'm going to share my screen because this brings back many memories. John DiCarlo may be familiar with this machine.
I'm familiar with that machine.
The Minolta EP450Z.
I think I have the world record of losing the most deals to that machine.
I think I have the world record of winning the most deals with that machine.
I will bow to you on that one, my friend. There's no doubt.
The amazing machine. Apparently, there's this Copy Machine Heritage Association's Image Society of Japan that ranks her. It's almost like I guess, a Hall of Fame for copiers.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the EP450Z. It's shown without the paper trays, shown without the exit tray. But what a remarkable machine. It was the first machine with a zoom lens that could reduce or enlarge up to 1/10 of 1%. So this got me into print shops, newspapers, advertising agencies, and we sold them pretty much at list.
Yeah.
So it was a pretty incredible time until everybody else started to come out with their zoom lens. But it was probably a good 2 years before the first manufacturer came out with another zoom lens like the 450Z. And matter of fact, the 450Z, you know who helped introduce that?
Mike.
Who?
Mr. Stramaglio.
Yep, Mike Stramaglio.
Yeah. And that's just something about the Heritage Association.
Okay, so now that you can look back at that, what was so great about it? I mean, other than some feature that half the people in the world didn't even know they needed or probably never used.
Well, that was the great thing, Kevin. They didn't know they needed it until we told them about it.
That's what that's exactly where I was leading to.
Yeah.
Right.
Once we told them about this amazing feature, then the mind just started to run. Well, oh crap, I can do this, I can do that, I can resize artwork. I don't need what were those big boards, whiteboards. And they used to put a drawing on a whiteboard and they would reduce the size manually of that image.
Mm-hmm.
Now you could do it basically without redrawing it or taking a picture of it. You put it on the copy machine, and I need this at 90%.
Sure. Because before this, if a copier had zoom, if it only had preset values where you could go from letter to ledger or ledger to legal or legal to letter. You know, there were probably 4 or 5 and they were just notches in on a strip of metal that the carriage would go to find its notch, and then it would stay there, and that was that percent, and then it would remove this way, and that was that percent, and then it would move this way, that percent. This
So
actually
the hardware
made it,
was designed for specific purposes.
because that's why would you ever need to do anything different than go from letter to legal or legal to ledger? Why would that ever occur?
Right.
No one needs to make a copy of a ID or a driver's license.
Sure.
How about the advanced features from the Zoom? And I believe, John, did they call it amaphoric, where it could actually stretch the vertical and not the horizontal?
Yes.
You could stretch it opposite.
Exactly. Once you had 2 motors driving the drum and the optical section, if you sped up the optical section, it would make the image longer. If you sped up the drum, it would make the image shorter as it was projected onto the drum to get
right.
Yeah.
Now the next instance when you have that I think it's amaphoric technology, and we got into color machines. You actually had artists making images that they would scan and then put in color and then change the color values, change the horizontal, change the vertical, and actually come out with artwork off a copy machine.
Yep.
And back then, it looked terrible. But you had it, though.
That's exactly it. That was when we were selling technology.
Oh man, those big Canon machines. Oh yeah.
State of the art.
I can't tell you how many machines I sold. So we would take the covers off and plug all the little stupid little door sensors so that people could watch the paper go through.
Yeah.
And I did it on almost every demo, and people were so mesmerized they didn't even realize that every machine they were going to go look at did the exact same thing, and they would just buy it. I'd always tell them, I said, it's what you can't see that makes the most difference. So we're going to make sure you get to see it. And they would sit there and they wouldn't even ask you to push one button. They would just watch that paper go through there, and they were just like in awe. And I'm like, yep, okay, I got your paperwork ready for you when you get done staring at that.
That's
pretty
awesome.
cool. That's pretty cool.
What a great idea.
We do the same thing with the OSAs. Cover
Yeah.
the sensor on the door and open it up and let it go.
Yep.
And then
What number did you start at it on that? I was done at 2475. 2600s is where I was at on the OSAs. Then I was out of
I
them.
was there. I was be
Uh,
2000-ish. So
Oh no, God, I was way ahead of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had to go all the way back
Digital.
there. Huh?
It
Oh,
was
they didn't
digital.
have-
We had the 3100. That was the one that we had. The big production machine. It was still analog. But then
So
we
that,
did
yep.
something
So that was after me with OSA. And we would take a can, like a pop can, and it had a camera in it. And I would set it on the glass and open the lid, and I would just hit copy, and it would go poof, 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 these flashes, and it would three-dimensionally wrap and make an entire image of that can. I did the same thing with the OSAs that I did with the Ricos. Yeah. Yeah. It did the same thing with them.
I did
Worked
that.
every time.
We
Really
put,
was kind of cool. I mean,
It is cool. It's still cool. We would put a cold can of Coke into, I think, the paper feed area or whatever it was, and just run the thing like crazy, 100 copies, then open up the thing, pull the can. It was still cold. So that was to tell you these things don't get hot either because of copy press and all that stuff.
Nice.
Yeah, there was all sorts of circus stuff.
Goofy things. Yeah.
But it was fun. You look back at it now, I was like, oh, that's cool.
Greg, that was technology.
I know.
We were selling technology.
Oh,
Copier technology.
that's right. It's amazing how stuff worked. It
And
is.
now today, you go try to sell them really things that are going to be beneficial in the technology space. I mean, literally, legitimately. Well, back then, I guess we thought that was based off our scope of knowledge.
What else do we have?
Yeah, but today, if you said that, people would just be inebriated by that. They'd be like, "Oh, dude, I'm so full of technology already. I can't even eat another bite of it." You know, like, all right, well, this one's going to save you from, total collapse, but I guess you're not interested, so I'll just go sit at the Dairy Queen and have an ice cream cone while I wait for you to completely collapse.
Interesting.
What happens?
I was just thinking about my days with knowing how the xerography
Oh, the 7
process
steps.
works, and how many salespeople actually nowadays can actually tell someone how that process works. And I mean, what happens when people like me and Kevin and we're gone out of that industry? No one's going to be able to. Who's going to know the process?
Well,
Oh,
on the
John
other
might
side,
still know the process.
Of course, I still know the process.
He impressed me with the drum and the thingamajigger, different speeds and
Yeah,
stretches. What
that's
the hell is he
impressive.
talking about?
I had to fix these things for 13 years.
Yep. Had my hands in a few of them, too.
As
Yeah.
soon as
Okay,
I saw a
Art.
screwdriver, I left.
Art, if you want to see cool, I will open up a Epson with 30,000 nozzles in that head, and I will let you watch a device digitize a drop. Okay? Here's what it does to digitize that drop. It determines the density of the drop so that it has the exact right amount of separation from dehydration. So when it hits the paper, it's dry. Okay? And these jets will shoot in coterminously. They will move their nozzles so they can make the drop be whatever size they want. So I could make a drop be however big a piece of paper I was putting in it, down to pixelates of sizes, 1/50th, 1/100th of the diameter of a hair. And it does this thing. It fires these things at a rate that you can't even. It's literally when you watch it, you'll spend an hour just sitting there amazed watching that thing be that precise. It is absolutely like unbelievably cool.
Yeah. If you think of how many
Nozzles?
what are they called heads, nozzles. How many nozzles?
30,000 nozzles.
On that in what?
That's
8-inch?
that's for 11-inch.
11-inch.
Don't the Epsons use cold piezo technology?
Piezo.
No, they use PrecisionCore. They invented
But the
piezo.
PrecisionCore is piezo.
No, it isn't.
P-core.
No,
P-core.
no. So the original ones, they didn't use blister, but they used pressure. The nozzles that they use now don't use any of that.
Oh.
It's I mean, I've seen people literally, we've opened it up and shown people so they could see what it did because it is cold. I mean, there's nothing going on
Yeah.
in there. And it happens at such a fast rate that they go, oh my God, it's all there. That whole line was just put in there like 3 inches wide, and they go, where did that come from? I'm like, that's how fast these things fire. It's an ungodly fast at how fast these things can fire. It's
That's
incredible.
pretty cool.
It is really
Yeah.
cool. And then you look at it
That's
and you realize
vicious.
absolutely nothing was harmed on the whole solar system.
Micro PJs, Epson's unit.
What's that?
someone was
I'm
talking
going to share
Japanese.
my screen for a minute. Where is it?
And Kevin, what models are you talking about? What these are the A3 models?
Yeah, they're A3s like the C5000, C6000, C4000, 2075, 21,000, C21,000.
Huh.
So are they? I mean, this is a dumb question, but I haven't been in that side. So are they approaching color laser output quality?
Well, here's the problem with it. So it doesn't look familiar. And what I mean by that is it looks like if you opened a textbook, it doesn't have the shine from polymer plastics
Okay.
or so it doesn't have that light refraction that people are used to. As far as the actual DPI, it's way higher than toner because toner stacks, right? But you can't stack ink. So it's immersion. So it has to hit the page and just be the right amount for the amount of space it's going to take up. But what they're going to now are called high solid ink. So they'll be able to even increase that even more.
Wait a minute. Solid ink like wax?
No, it's not solid ink like wax. It's like
Okay.
so we have what's called low solids now because it's basically water. It's aqueous, as the ink is what we use. But then the problem is fusing higher solids in the ink, and now they're getting to where they're actually able to start doing that.
Oh,
And then the other thing is we're looking at light to be able to hit this with light and have it just instantly set it.
right.
And so I think no one's ever told me this from Epson, but I think that's where it's going to be going here real soon. But I don't know that. I mean, I don't have any proof of that.
Isn't that technology? What is when the light hits it? Is that a new? That's not a new tech.
No.
They use that UV curing technology in a lot of wide
that's it,
format.
sorry.
Yeah, we're already using it.
Production.
Okay.
And on their industrial print machines that are 1,000 pages a minute or whatever those are,
Right.
they use it on that too. But when you first time you see it, you actually see it in real life. I'll send you. We filmed it, and when you look at it, you're like, okay, that's just in a whole different world.
Yeah, I'd like to see it.
Yeah, it's and like it's funny. It's like if a nozzle had a vectoring problem, meaning they got plugged or had paper dust on whatever something was to go. The machine knows that it has resistance, so it vectors another nozzle over and shoots that spot for it. And it does this at 30 million times per whatever second or a minute, or I think it's a second or something like that. It's fast. It's so fast it's just a blink. It's like, wow, that looks just like a snapshot from a Polaroid, only no wait time for the image to be made.
Long way from Edgeline.
Yeah.
And I did Edgeline. So, same thing with the ports that were the jets or whatever, they're clogged. It's the only, the ink had a virus, whatever. And it clogged all the Edgelines stuff. Then all the heads cracked. Anyway, but see, that technology is wild because you're using like physical water and real elements, natural elements to bring that out versus plastic to melt plastic. Pretty
Yeah.
cool.
So you use the water as a vehicle to get the solid onto the paper, but in the distance between the nozzle head and the paper is the dehydration. So it shoots at a very high speed, so that it's basically it's like watching I call it like watching the space capsule re-enter Earth's orbit, where all the fire's going around the tile. I realize that's an exaggeration of a point, but basically by the time the ink hits the piece of paper, it's dry. The vehicle, the water itself, the aqueous, has been removed, and the only thing that hit the paper where it was supposed to was the solid.
The solid, yeah.
Yeah.
So the water is just, you're right. There's just the vehicle to deliver and by the time it hits the paper,
Correct.
the vehicle's gone.
Yeah.
It's gone. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
so
cool.
one of the engineers, we were playing around, and he said, "Watch this," and he shot one 1/50th of a pixelet onto a piece of paper. Okay. And I was like, and it came out, and I was like, what happened? And they literally put a light on it, and he said, we'll measure these exact coordinates of where this dot hit. And it was literally with a laser perfect in that one vector. He's like, yeah, you don't need any kind of enlargement or reduction because, I mean, there's the mathematical equation with these things is absolutely perfect. We don't miss wherever we hit. That's why it's called PrecisionCore. And I'm just looking at it going, okay, this is like so more advanced than, going back to an old laser machine. Then I watched that laser and we were laughing. I'm like, okay, it's light years literally ahead of where this is at.
What are the other applications? So if water is the transport vehicle, I mean, I'm thinking 3D printing.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a way to convert that in those nozzles into printing material like metal?
So it's what I think one of the rumors that we've all been, I guess, spreading or listening to is that what it will do in medicine for the human body.
Oh yeah, liquids. Okay. Yeah.
So I'm assuming that there's going to be a departure, not a departure, but perhaps a directional change or increase the direction with the medical side of it. I don't know. But what it can do right now in the ink space is nothing like what you can see toner do. It's not even close.
Nanobots.
I was just going to say, if you look at it, toner is very primitive versus that, and it's inelegant actually, that delivery. And you're right, the nanobots and the back down to that level. Oh, it's fantastic voyage.
Yeah, PrecisionCore wasn't built to compete. It was built to replace. That's completely Epson's mind on it.
Yeah, I get it. Doesn't matter
But
how the technology is, people still print less.
Because it doesn't look familiar.
Well, no, in general.
Yeah. But I mean, that's one of the things that's been, I don't know if that was unforeseen or foreseen, but people are like, well, I don't know, it sounds good, but does it really work? Well, it doesn't break. We have machines that have been out for 9 years and we haven't done service on them yet. Yeah. I don't know. You tell me, is that enough of a testimony? I don't know.
No, static.
Have them all over the United States and don't even know the customer's name. Never met them. Never been there.
It's a classic office color versus, graphic color. Office color is fine. That doesn't cares. You
all right.
Don't need to loop anything coming out of any. Very interesting.
Oh.
Very interesting.
All right, guys, I got to bail out. But you guys have a great weekend.
Thanks,
Kevin,
Kev.
appreciate it.
See you, Kevin.
I'm going to reach out to you, Kev. I got some questions about that.
Okay.
Stuff we were talking about.
Yeah, please do.
See ya.
All right, later.
Kevin, Neal, thanks for tuning in today.
Yeah, of course. It's
Mr.
always enlightening. This was a very deep conversation today.
Yeah, and then we went back to copiers at the end.
I know. Came full circle. I love it.
Mr. DiCarlo,
Me
always
too.
great to have you on board. We appreciate your input. Greg, you're like a brother. Only the more intelligent brother.
I'm just faking.
So we're ending our show. It's a little bit after 5 o'clock. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next Friday. And I think in 2 Fridays from now, we'll be doing our 4th of July show, I believe.
Oh, big one. That's
Yes.
250 years. I mean, I would love to do
Fireworks.
something.
We'll all have funky hats on, stars and stripes. But everybody,
Guns,
please like-
fire trucks, hookers.
please like, follow, and share, and we will see you next week.